And boom, we are live. What is up, Elijah?
Nothing.
So, real quick, for those of you who don't know, put your hands together here for, ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Boivin.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, man. And just to give a little backstory, just so we're all on the same page, me and Elijah went to college a long time ago in electronic media, and in that time, probably in that time and up until now, you've been somebody who's really been crushing it when it comes to like music and stuff like that. I mean, I know you have quite a history there, and that's one thing too I wanted to talk to you about, because I was really a big fan of a lot of the stuff that you were doing back then, man. Because
I appreciate that.
With that mixtape, like we were just recently talking about the Generation X mixtape, along with a lot of other things you have on YouTube. And I'll plug your YouTube here so you guys can check out all the cool music videos he's got, because he's got some actually really cool stuff, professionally done and everything. So who does your videos, by the way?
I know Tristan when we went to school.
Yeah,
he did one. I don't know if that one's still up there, though,
I ran
honestly.
into him during New Year's.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was at the Progression Brewery.
Yep.
Yeah, it was cool running into him. I also ran into Tom Roche.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know if they're still doing stuff like that,
They
but
are.
you touch
They
base
are.
with Tristan every now and then too?
Yeah. I was actually in an independent film, or he did like a student film when he was up at UMass.
No way.
And I was doing that with him. I was one of the actors in it. And then Tom, he used to put on comedy shows before all this was going on. And I was always I was a musical act for 3 of them, I want to say.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. But yeah, he's still doing.
That's so
still
cool.
doing stuff.
I'm glad to hear that Tom's doing stuff like that, because that's so
Funny kid, dude.
That's
I
so
love
his
Tom.
thing.
I
He
love
was so
Tom.
good at it. Like, out of everybody in the class, I feel like he was really one of the best to capture that sitcom, that type of, with his camera placement and his screen cuts and everything. He did a really good job of sort of placing together an episode, if you will, of something.
Oh, yeah.
And was able to even then maintain the comedic aspect of it, which
Definitely.
is tough to do. I think that's kind of like the hardest thing to do is maintain a comedic aspect, because that's kind of what's lost if you're really focused on all the other details. And he was so good at that. So what have you been up to these days? I mean, it's been a long time. So
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like what, like 8 years maybe? No, 9 years.
yeah, something. Well, yeah, about 9. Maybe 8 actually.
That's depressing.
Yeah, it flies by. We're in the future all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've been like working on music. I've been doing more acting stuff lately too. So
No
that's
way.
pretty fun. Yeah. Yeah, waiting for everything to kind of settle down and then go to more auditions and stuff. But so far, like, yeah, I've just been cranking out music and trying to connect with as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a great group of people that are like up in Chicopee right now that
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff with, and
Nice.
hands down, like they work harder than.
Now, do you guys
most
do
people.
just like mostly music videos and just studio work, or do you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, like they all do their own kind of thing. They
Yeah.
all do have like music and platforms and stuff like that. As far as like the videos, man, I've like done a video or two for like them. I've tried to like help edit and stuff, just because like some of them just do the music and some of them do all of it.
Yeah.
But as far as like, just connecting, like we've been doing a couple like songs together and stuff like that. One of the kids has I think it's his like third EP in like a couple months, man. That kid works harder than anybody.
What's a 30? What's that?
Oh, like his third like EP in like a couple months. Like he's just cranking music.
What's it?
out,
What's
dude.
an EP?
It's just like, it's not a full album. It's probably like 4 or 5 songs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Um,
for those of you who don't know,
Little
that's
sample
wild.
size, yeah.
Yeah. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Good for him.
Yeah.
So how long you been working with him? Did you say?
Honestly, since like we were in HCC, so
No
like it's been a
kidding.
while, but
No
yeah,
kidding.
he's like taking off, dude. He's
Dude, that's
a good
awesome.
kid, yeah.
Dude, good for you guys. Yeah, that's really what it's all about, man. Is staying busy, staying motivated, loving what you do. Because there's one thing I was talking about this with somebody the other day. There's nothing quite as gratifying as making music. Oddly, and I say that from a very from my experience with it being just very intermediate with music creation, playing with GarageBand,
Yeah.
making little beats here and there. And in just doing that, as simple or as intermediate as it may be, it's still extremely gratifying. And I mean, I'm sure once you guys throw together a whole project
like-
based off of especially your YouTube channel with all the music videos you have, I mean, that's gotta be awesome to do. Do you have anything you're currently working on?
Yeah, I have an EP coming out. It was supposed to come out
Yeah.
last week, and then like I just got completely sidetracked with like everything going on
Yeah,
in life,
I know.
and so I pushed it back, and now it's gonna come out in probably early August. It's
Cool.
called Nosebleeds.
Nice.
strictly because I get a lot of nosebleeds
There you
lately.
go.
I'm just like kind of stressed out. But
Personal, yeah. It's how it is, man, these days.
yeah, but yeah, no. So I'm working on that. I want 8 songs on there. I might put another one on there. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Yeah,
though.
that's awesome. That's actually a good sized album. Now, are these songs available cross platform? Like, where do you stream?
Yeah, so I mean, I use DistroKid, which is just like a distribution.
Okay.
And like it goes on Tidal, TikTok if you're on that.
Oh, no kidding.
Spotify, Apple
Yeah.
Music, iTunes.
That's smart to
the
put it on
whole-
TikTok. TikTok's getting really big.
It's crazy.
Anybody,
honestly.
anybody who's not using it, if you're in like the, social media or electronic media industry and you're trying to produce, I mean, at this point, I even kind of want to try and find a way to integrate, because I'm really just building the platform as is kind of just tough, and you want to kind of try and do that on the larger social media
yeah.
ones, but over time, I mean, TikTok is really, you could put just something up and all of a sudden get like a couple
Literally,
followers.
yeah.
I
Like
mean,
Lizzo. Lizzo got her start from that.
Yeah. Oh,
And just
really?
like, yeah.
No kidding.
I didn't know that until like I was
That's a fun
watching it.
fact.
And then,
I had
it
no
just,
idea.
Blew up, and I was like, oh,
Holy
all right,
shit.
TikTok might be it.
Yeah, no, TikTok's no joke. Don't sleep on TikTok. Yeah, man. So are you able to get yours? I saw you have a link to like Spotify. Do you use Spotify as well, or
Yeah.
how does that work with when you make a track? Do you have to have a host? Because I know for like podcasts you have to have a host.
It's like, so usually like you just send it to like whatever. I mean, there's
Yeah.
like a million distribution places now. So like CD Baby, all that.
Yeah.
Really, like you upload it to that, and then they take the time to like distribute it, like all the stores that you want it to distribute, like streaming platforms and everything.
Nice.
And generally, like it's pretty quick. It's usually within like a week or so. So like you do have to plan it up ahead. But I mean, yeah, like they get you like the little check mark and verified artist and all
Cool.
that fun stuff.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
You
That
feel
must
more
feel good.
important
Yeah.
than you are a little bit. But
gives
like,
you a little motivation.
yeah.
That is cool.
But yeah, no, I mean, it made it a lot easier to reach more people, as many people as possible, for sure.
Yeah, no, I forget who I was listening to talk about it, but it's so crazy how much the industry has changed. Like even in the time that we've known each other back, when I just was referencing how you gave me a mixtape, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if people even
Yeah.
do that anymore. Who has a CD player? You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
computers don't have one. It's kind of like now it's like links and stuff like that. So it's definitely. The good news is that if you're just getting into the industry, it's kind of easy to integrate into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't need as much equipment now. You just need a computer, and that has access to the internet, of course. But yeah, man. Are you doing like any live stuff at all? I mean, I know.
Yeah.
Where do you live these days? Are you in Northampton?
I'm out in East Hampton
You're
right
East
now,
Hampton,
yeah.
So I was gonna say that's a pretty poppin' area
It's
for
like it's coming up. It's
local
coming up.
artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't stress enough too. Elijah's a really amazing local artist, and that's what we want to try and feature as much as possible. I'm trying to reach out to other
appreciate
people
that.
that I know. Like you saw my friend Dean Martin. He did it.
Yeah.
He's great. He's ambitious about this kind of stuff too, and it's just fun to see. It from a very untalented person's perspective, when I see somebody who is talented
Don't
at
sell
music.
yourself short, dude.
Well, you know what I mean. Like you're like, whoa, like for instance, somebody sits down and all of a sudden can play the violin. You never even knew that, and you're always kind of blown away. Like
Yeah.
music is such a tangible or visible, or you can feel it type of extension of one's body, and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean? Because you can really change the mood and the atmosphere in a room just by performing.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of it's kind of, in my opinion, one of the most gratifying forms of entertainment or art.
It definitely, yeah.
I mean?
It reaches everything. So it's like
Yeah.
there's a song for literally like everything, dude. It's crazy.
It
And
really-
that's like part of the reason
Yeah.
why I love it so much, is just because like it takes like, however you're feeling, and can completely switch it up. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right, now you're feeling a little different, or like
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It kind of helps you sort your own thoughts. And there's not many things that really help you do that. You know what I mean? Music's kind of weird in that way.
it really is.
Being the most popular thing in the world for the human species. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
no culture without it. And I always, just as one of the hit blunts moments to myself, I always wonder if music, I always go, man, I wonder. So, like, if there, in the instance there was, actually, this is going totally into space at this point, right? If there was another species out there, I wonder if they would have the capability of making music. I always wonder if music to the human species is maybe a unique thing that it does, similar to the way a bioluminescent creature is uniquely glowing, unlike everything else that's around it. You know what I mean?
I
And
never even thought of that, honestly.
it's a really weird
stone
thought.
cold
I've always,
sober, and I'm just
dude,
like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I always wonder that, because it's like, it seems so. I mean, it's really far out there. It is so far out there, but it's definitely thought provoking when you think about how specific music really is,
Oh, yeah.
and how specific and how unique, because. You know, even if it may sound like music in the world, or, you know, waves hitting the ocean, however you want to put it, it's so on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
The way it's done by humans, you know what I mean? And there's a lot, like you said, a lot of emotion put into it. Yeah, man. So do you do any video stuff? You said you have one of these. Do you use any instruments these days, or are you still doing just rapping?
Man.
And
I've tried to branch off. So like,
Yeah.
I do a lot of singing now too.
Yeah.
It's more like kind of like going for a Frank Ocean type of feel
Nice.
lately. Just because like I've been listening to a bunch of his stuff and just like constantly just like, all right, I like the synth. I like love 80s like sounding synth. So like The Weeknd just came out with like, you know, all that stuff, and it's just like,
yeah.
I bringing it back, dude. I love the 80s. So like anything with synth,
The 80s are good.
I'm all in.
Yeah. What do you use for software? Like
I use Logic Pro.
You do Logic Pro?
Yeah,
Okay.
I use Logic.
Yeah, I'm still a
yeah,
dummy.
then
I
the
use
Tascam.
freaking GarageBand.
Dude, honestly, GarageBand for like what it is, it's like for like the stock like thing, it has a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised, because when I was thinking about all the components to kind of get together to make a podcast, I'm like, well, what's the best place to put the audio and then edit it, and you'll get the EQ involved, and so far I haven't been limited by this. I can still edit everything the way I would like to. I guess down the road I might get Logic Pro, because I hear so many good things about it. But
it's good. It's a lot, dude.
It's expensive.
It's not even that. It's like, I think I got it for $200.
Oh, you can pay a flat price for it? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But I mean, just like, there's so much stuff. Like, I'm still learning stuff, and I've had it for like years and years. Like, I like find like a plugin that I didn't even know existed. I'm just like, oh, all right, well, that's a game changer. Like, that certainly helps with like everything. It's crazy the amount of stuff that like this stuff has now.
They put a ton of stuff in it. Well, that's what I keep telling people, who, like Jameson too. Jamie Dew behind the camera, by the way. Shout out, young Jamie Dew. Anybody who's ambitious about like making video, it's surprising how far you can go with just like iMovie if you have any like Mac products. Because I use Final Cut Pro myself, but I don't use all of it. It's just some of these softwares, like you're saying, just are so elaborate. You can do so many things, but that's good to have a high ceiling. You know, it pushes you.
It is.
So what have you been up to these days? I mean, in between your music career and everything.
I'm a pool boy now, man.
You're a pool boy?
I'm a pool boy. Living the dream.
Going after the Hollywood moms of Massachusetts.
Southampton represent, man. No, it's not what I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it's like
temporary.
You know,
yeah. Where do you see yourself going with it? I mean, do you want to? Is there anywhere you would see yourself more frequently? I guess making money on the side.
I've been doing a lot of like custom work as far as like shoes and stuff goes. And
That's what I wanted to ask you about. I saw that on your Instagram. That's awesome. I'll put a picture here.
Thank you.
You make that all yourself?
Yeah.
That's really cool. I know that there's a buck in that racket too. People love that shit.
It's crazy.
Like more so than you would think. If you're not a shoehead, you'll never understand. Personally, I'm not a shoehead, but I just know a lot of people who love them, and I know people will pay a lot of money for them too.
The amount of stuff, like, dude, like I
Smart
like
of you
use
too.
leather paint, but like it's crazy. Like the amount of stuff that you can do on shoes. I didn't even know that shoes like came with so many different like obviously
textures.
Yeah, it's like because some of it just gets caked on. And you're just like, all right, well, I just wasted $100 on a pair of shoes that like can't rock anymore because like it.
Is the paint expensive?
No, the paint's like $8, but like the shoes, man.
Shoes are expensive. Yeah, you got to pay for the shoe and everything. So do you end up turning a good profit on them? Do people?
I mean,
how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing it for like 2 months now, so not that long. I like messed around with it just because like I was watching like YouTube one night like I couldn't sleep and I was just like, all right, went down a rabbit hole, found like a bunch of shoe stuff, and I was like, all right, this is pretty sick. I'm gonna try this. So like went out, bought a pair of Nikes and
that's awesome.
Tried it, but
keep doing that for sure. What's that kid's name? Who's that kid who's selling the shoes? That DJ Khaled. Doesn't DJ Khaled have a guy? It's this young kid. He was
Marco?
like 12 years old when he
Oh, okay,
started.
I don't
and
know.
kid's
Oh,
a
I know who you're
millionaire.
talking about,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? He's like a millionaire now.
Dude, that kid.
In the comments, let me know who that kid is. Actually, Jameson, you could probably find him. Like DJ Khaled's shoe salesman. I have no idea.
You already know it's gonna
Yeah.
pop right up too.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
it's gonna be like, oh, this kid.
Yeah, this kid.
That
Yeah, he's net worth $25 million selling shoes. You'd be surprised, man. I can't believe how much some people are into it. That's fine. I had a coworker not too long ago, man. That he I think he has like 78 pairs of shoes or
my God,
56 pairs of shoes. I forget what the number was. Nuts though. Now with the current project you're working on, you said it's Nosebleed.
Yep.
When's that supposed to come out?
I'm thinking like August 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
want like first week of August. Like again, like originally it was supposed to be last week, and then just like I got sidetracked and like.
Where does that drop?
That's gonna be on all streaming platforms.
Nice.
So it's Spotify.
Cool. Yeah, and if you haven't already, check out his Instagram, folks. Definitely worth it. Just to stay in touch, keep up with like all of his things that he's doing along with the shoes. And now I've seen the shoes now, but also the music. That's freaking so cool, man. So here's what I was wondering. Now, what is the process that you sort of put into it, thinking when you're making a song? You know what I mean? Like, what are some aspects of yourself that you put into it?
It's really like, I don't know. I mean, I try to like think previously about like the different like moods that I've been like within like that week or whatever, time period. A lot of it has to do with just like if I'm messing around on like a keyboard and like I hear a sound and like I immediately think like, oh, okay, I can definitely do something with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
isn't it funny how just like a little melody can really inspire you,
it's
like
always,
a beat?
Yeah,
That's
it's
how
crazy.
it is for me when because I again super intermediate when it comes to making music, but I'll mess around here with GarageBand and then they'll just have a loop. And I'll be like, damn, I really like that little loop. So you keep adding to it.
They got some good stuff.
Yeah, you can mess around with it. So I could see how that could be super inspiring. Do you make the track before the lyrics or the lyrics before the track?
Yeah, usually.
Track first,
Every once in a while, like, lyrics will come to me and I'll try to, like, do it. And then I'll try to, like, make a beat to that. And I just, like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's always, I know some people can just, like, say something and they'll be like, oh, okay, I know what I'm going to put here. But, like, I've never been one of those people. It's, like, it's a lot of effort to, like, make the beat, and then like the lyrics usually come pretty easily, but like the beat I struggle with that, dude. Yeah,
it is tough because you have to have just those certain components of redundancy, but not too much, and a good way to start it and a good way to finish it. That's actually usually what I have trouble most when I'm making a little thing. So the name of the kid, Benjamin Kapolshnik, right? Benjamin Kapolshnik. I don't know how to pronounce his name. His nickname is Kicks, and the most expensive pair of shoes he sold was $20,000. So a pair of shoes for $20,000. I don't know which ones they were. Hey man, there you go.
I feel like
2 pairs of shoes, $40,000 in the bank. Keep chipping away at that,
feels
man.
that easy, dude. I love it.
Dude, you'll get there. Honestly, I mean, I feel like it really is just an aesthetic thing. You make something that somebody loves. It's kind of like art. You know what I mean? People pay millions of dollars for a painting that anybody could have done, but to that person, it really means something. So they put all that money into it. I mean, what was I saying? I actually spoke to Jameson about this even on the first episode. I was like, when you're learning how to do something brand new, that first year is usually free. You know what I mean? Because of the internet, you can learn so much right away that you get that second year of experience after your first 6 months of doing it. So I mean, you keep doing that. A year goes by, 6 months goes by. I mean, you're already a pro at that point, and people know you do it too. Because that's the thing, is getting yourself out there. So like for branding and stuff like that, how do you guys usually market yourself? I always wondered that when it comes to like musicians and.
I mean, it really depends. Like some people have like managers and like publicists and stuff, and like obviously I'm not at that point yet. But like, I mean, I absolutely hate talking about myself for the most part. Yeah. Because I always feel like, wow, they probably think I'm like egotistical and stuff like that, and I hate it. But like, there's really no other way that you can do it as opposed to just like you have to really like sell yourself. Like that's what you're doing to people. So it's like you really have to try and like make yourself sound as enticing as possible for people to like look at your stuff. But other than that, I mean, like, I've seen people just go through like YouTube comments and just like plug themselves, and it was like I'm not at that point. I'm not gonna do that. But like,
Well, it's
whatever
good.
works, man.
Well, you're in a good position because your content's really good, and that speaks for itself. Really,
I appreciate
You know
that.
what I mean?
I
Like,
appreciate that a lot.
Like, that's I think a big thing that a lot of people who are very passionate about something might miss on. And maybe I should take back saying very passionate about, because typically some people are more passionate about what comes with being passionate about something. So they want to reap the benefits of a good product before their product is good.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you know what I mean, content or something like that. So instead of really putting themselves into what they're working on, they'll just try to just get, in other words, their level of success in their minds might depend solely on the amount of people that are tapping into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of energy that can be wasted into trying to get that versus just making a really good product. You know what I mean?
Instant gratification type of, like, if it's not working, then
Because if it slaps, hey, check this out. Oh yeah, and you know, next thing you know, people are putting it on their phone, people are listening to it, all that type of stuff. You got something? Or are you just looking?
No.
Oh, okay. I never know. Yeah. So in other words, it's apparent, and I can't encourage you guys enough to go check out his YouTube channel, because there's a lot of really good stuff on there, and you can tell you really put some thought into it. You know what I mean? So, have you ever thought about like doing instruments with it too? I mean, I forget what instruments do you play? Do you,
piano a little bit.
Piano a little
keyboard,
bit, yeah.
You know,
keyboard,
but
that's a smart one to do. It's amazing
you
how
can,
far
you can do anything on a keyboard now.
A keyboard freaking rips. It's so
I have,
much
like,
fun.
An old school Casio.
How many keys is that? Just like a little one you can plug in the computer? Or?
I want to say that one is 36.
Yeah.
Might be 32. I don't know how many are supposed to be on it. I think it's like 64.
Yeah,
I know I definitely don't have the full. I have like the half.
Yeah, we were having this conversation yesterday. Somebody was like, oh, because I have an electric piano. But there's a difference between an electric piano and a keyboard, isn't there? Right? Is there not?
I mean,
I don't know, like, because I feel
you get like a certain twang with electric piano. I love it personally because like it makes me think of just like.
Well, it's got the 88 keys.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have very many settings. I feel like a keyboard specifically usually has less keys and a lot of settings.
Yeah, you can find anything on a keyboard.
You got
now.
all the dials. Does yours have dials on it? I don't know if it...
Mine's like super. It's probably honestly from like 2002. So it's got like the USB cord, and then it's just got like this weird like Rolodex type of thing that you just gotta like swirl your finger around.
Yeah.
And other than that though, like there's no
for the pitch?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
Other than that, dude, it's like literally hands down bare bones, like
That's
nothing.
what's up.
Yeah.
That's still cool. How about those soundboards? You ever mess around
Those
with those?
things are sick.
From who's that guy's name? Wasabi. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the ones that you can like literally just make like
Yeah, you just
anything
plug it in.
with,
It's literally just a board with buttons. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And they light up. They can do different things. I don't know how that guy does it. What's his name? Sean Wasabi. You ever hear that guy?
No.
Dude, worth a
Really?
YouTube. He's great. There's this really great song called like Spicy Boyfriend, but it's really much this guy. He's on his bed, and he's got a ton of these videos out. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. But extremely impressive. I mean, I can't imagine
Sean
having
Wasabi?
to Sean
Okay,
Wasabi.
okay.
I
I'll remember
actually,
that.
Yeah, dude, I know. I listened to. I actually found out about him when I was in college. That was one of my favorite things. I mean, this is obviously our interaction here is a product of that collegiate experience. You know, I can't talk about it enough because it's always the biggest value in that is meeting people and networking and stuff like that. Because that was one thing I really appreciated. Like even Tristan and oh my gosh, Tom.
Yeah.
Were awesome because they would work with you right away. Remember when we made that video for the class?
About God?
Yeah, dude. We talked about it on the first podcast. You were the actor.
Yeah.
I think you were one of the actors, right? And we were like in the bathroom.
Mikey Black.
Okay,
Mikey
yeah,
Black. He
that's
does
who it
music
was.
too, actually.
Yeah, that's right. How many of those guys do you touch base with still?
I've only seen him at like Tom Roche's like thing because he performed with me, not like with me, but like you know, as like a musical guest too.
No way.
But other than that was the first time I saw him. And like,
Where do you guys perform? Is it just in the studio, or do you guys ever do everything live?
we did everything live. There was one place in Holyoke, and then there was like Fort Hill Brewery, and then I think there was another one too. I think it was at the same place that was outdoor. I couldn't tell you for the life of me where the outdoor place was, but like it had a stage, it had a mural on the back. It was pretty sick.
Nice.
But, and then
East Hampton?
Holyoke.
Holyoke. Okay.
Holyoke, yeah.
Dude, that's awesome. How's that experience versus like being in the studio? I
It's
feel like
so
I'd
much
have
fun,
stage
dude.
fright.
It's so much more fun.
Is it like performing in front of people?
Yeah, because like And again, like I've always been like really uncomfortable in front of a lot of people.
Yeah.
And like it got to like a certain point where I was just like, all right, these people are going to think what they want from me. Like I might as well just like do something that I'm happy with. So like I think I got to the point, not like recently, but like over the past couple of years of like, okay, you know what? Like I'm okay. I'm meant to be up here because like I feel like if someone asks me to be here, like I'll be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, okay, there's obviously like something behind it. So like
And you have something to do
it.
up there. That's what I've always felt like makes publicly interacting with people on a large scale much easier, is when you have something to present or talk about with confidence too.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of my biggest fears right after high school, or I wouldn't say fears as though I was dwelling on it constantly, but public speaking was a bitch for me. Like I had a really hard time. So I took public speaking for one of my first semester just to get better at it. Even in this like environment, I'm still a little nervous, you know what I mean?
like-
And there's nobody here.
It's always like the little things though that like you notice, but like you don't notice it until after.
Yeah.
And that's what really got me with public speaking too. Like
Yeah.
I had to take it at HTC too, and like I absolutely hated the class, but like
It's tough.
Yeah.
It was really tough. I mean, because especially you might not be able to look back on it in that instance because once it's done, it's done. But like in this instance, I always, how many times am I saying
Yep.
or oh or skipping a thought because I'll just try to keep the conversation going and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'm sort of learning from myself. It's a very cool and you probably get the same thing when you're creating music. In the studio
Yeah.
or even live, if you've seen it replayed, you go, oh, maybe I should tighten that up or
I never want to say like the word "and" too
Yeah.
much in a song because I feel like it just it's like a run-on sentence, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, all right, I can't say it more than like 4 times in like 2 verses.
Yeah.
And then like that's like my limit. Like I can't say it constantly
Yeah.
because then I feel like, all right, this
that's
is just dragging
that's
on.
probably a good rule,
You know?
because before you know it, you've said "and" like 10 times in
Oh,
two
yeah.
sentences or something.
Yeah, because someone pointed it out to me, and I was like, oh my god, all I say is
Shit.
"and" now. That's
Yeah.
all I think about.
Yeah,
So
dude,
like it definitely, it's literally like idiosyncrasies that I just don't know that I'm doing.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. That's why exposure, practice, trial and error are so important, because over time you get better at it, and it's really honing your thoughts. Like even just at the beginning of this podcast, I feel like there was a bunch of stuff I wanted to mention. Like it's the 10th episode, double digits,
Yes, happy to be
locals
here.
only,
Perfect.
and it's
I
an
love it,
honor
dude.
to
I
have
love
you
the
for that. Yeah, what's that?
I love the idea of locals only, dude. That's
Yeah,
such like a
it's-
cool name. That's such like a
Thank
hitter
you,
name
yeah.
too. I love it.
It
Like
is-
that
it
just
is-
hits perfectly.
It
You're just
rolls
like, all
off
right.
the tongue. You get
Yep.
it, and it's kind of it is consistent to what I'm doing, because it's only I only know so many people, and in the towns where we live, they're
Yeah.
all small. So
Yeah.
we don't live near Boston or New York City or L.A. So I don't know. It's fun. I think it's fun. You know what I mean? And I've been having fun with it so far. But yeah, 10th episode, double digits, big news, big moves. It's going well so far too. I mean, I've worked out most of the kinks. The amount of Here's one thing that I've really dived into, and this is obviously very basic audio.
Yeah,
How much audio editing can go into just
a lot.
talking voices?
I know.
Like if you guys go back into the first 5 to 8 episodes, or maybe 5 to 6, because I didn't realize this was happening. Like a male's voice can carry on so much
Yeah.
lower of a frequency that if you're listening to some of my podcasts in a car, it's like, ooh, you almost can't even hear what I'm saying because of
It's just
my
like, yeah.
too deep. So you got to do all these. What are they called?
Like the EQing,
EQ
compressing.
Yeah,
like all that
compressing it,
stuff,
and then
yeah.
you have the what is it? The low cut and then the high cut, so that
Oh,
way you
yeah.
get those
Yeah, the passes.
unnecessary passes. Yeah, just to cut out the lower and higher frequencies that you don't need. Like this thing, I can almost get out of there, even though it's making wood noise like a wood chipper. Now, do you ever do like any freestyling or anything like that? I know
Not
a lot of
well.
people. Yeah.
Not well. Like that's one thing that I've never been good at. Like
Yeah.
every once in a while, like I'll have like a really good like line. I'll be like, all right, I don't know how to work that into like
Yeah.
a freestyle though. And
That's
then-
tough,
yeah,
man.
so,
Going
like,
off the cuff is hard, but I feel like equally sometimes it's just as hard going off a script. How do you practice that? So you write it down and then you kind of just
Yeah.
have your rounds with the beat and kind of
It,
get
like-
used to it.
It depends on like the mood too. Like honestly, like sometimes I'll just go in and like I won't freestyle, but like I'll go over like a bunch of things. Like I'll have sounds and I'll just be like, no, okay, and
Yeah.
then like think of like words that might fit in that scheme. But
Uh-huh.
like other than that, I mean, yeah, dude, just practice and like over and over. You have to like literally, like, if one word is too small or, like, too large, it
Yeah.
just makes everything sound so weird.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
God. I
like,
mean,
yeah.
it throws your whole tempo off. You know what I mean? You almost, it's kind of like, I mean, we're all familiar with so many different extremely talented rappers these days and how they'll make words sound to fit
Oh, yeah.
the verse. You
Snoop
know what I
Dogg.
mean? Snoop Dogg,
dude.
Eminem, you know what I mean? They
Yeah.
do it all the time with so many different words, you know what I mean? Oh, Snoop Dogg is actually a great
Pioneers.
example. Pioneer.
I love it.
So have you? So what groups have you worked with out in Northampton, East Hampton, those areas? Because I know there's a lot of talent that passes
There's a ton
through.
of it,
Do you
yeah.
get a lot of time, or not a lot of time, but
haven't,
have you
like-
run into a lot of good like talent out there?
I've run into them. I haven't worked with, like, a significant amount, not nearly as much as, like, I want to. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, there's just so many kids because, like, everyone does it now because, like, it's so easily accessible to,
Right.
like,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly. Like,
literally,
you
there's
have a computer,
4 pieces
and
of
you
equipment in
have, like, a
here,
task cam,
yeah.
and you're just like, you're good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's, like, off the bat, like, you know, I grew up with a kid named Nick Acevedo, and, like, he, you know, he has, like, he just put out a video, actually. You should go check it out.
What's say his name again?
Nick Acevedo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And,
What's
like,
his YouTube?
I think it's just Nick Acevedo.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'll check that out.
Wicked cool kid. Like, we grew up in the same, like, housing development, like, in Northampton. I was probably, like,
You lived in Northampton your whole life?
yeah, I lived there for 17 years.
Nice.
And then he lived at, like, the same, like, apartment complex probably, I don't know, maybe 12 of the years. So,
Yeah.
like, we would, like, go on vacations and stuff together, like, when we were kids. Like, we were
Nice,
friends.
okay.
And then, like, you know, another kid, like, John Washkevitz, he goes by John Wash. That's the kid that, like, has a studio out in Chicopee, him and this kid, Andrew Morgan. And, like, he has a clothing company, Midnight Distribution. Dude, like,
Nice.
hands down, that kid works so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the clothing company going?
Awesome. It's going
That's
really
actually
cool.
one
Yeah,
thing-
he's like he's a super talented kid, and
Yeah.
like he makes music too. I think now.
No
so,
kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to reach out to him. Is he a
You
good
should,
friend of
yeah.
yours? Is he in the area?
I mean, like, we know each other.
Yeah.
We're like, I'd say we're friends. I don't know. Like, obviously, I'm like more. I've worked with John a lot more than I've worked with, like, Andrew.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, like, Andrew's like literally just making it like a warehouse that, like, local kids can go and just, like, you know.
Buy stuff?
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like that. Like, he has shipment. Like, you ship
yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff. Like, that's
But
a
he's
clothing
got a
company, but-
physical location too for it?
Yeah, I mean, like,
No
he's got a
kidding.
studio in it, and it's like,
Wow.
yeah, dude, he's really trying to help.
Is he making
He's-
a lot of money off that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
asked him that. Yeah, but I mean, he does well. Like, he has a huge following.
Yeah.
So, like,
Dude, that's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, like, he's doing what you're doing. It's just like a local, like, artist platform that, like, people are.
Oh,
like-
so is it kind of like a podcast?
it's not a
long
podcast,
form?
but it's like he's like really promoting, like, local artists as
Cool,
far as
cool.
like music goes.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
other words, he lets them use his studio and
Yeah, like, he's a super cool kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all, like, we went to high school. Like,
We'll have
I didn't
to-
know him in high school, but, like, we went to the same high school.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say we'll have to reach out to him, see if he'd like to come in, because
Yeah,
I mean
well-
that's the funnest part. Like we planned today, we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stick around to the end of the video too. We'll get a little sample of this guy's talent, and you'll have to check the rest of the video out too on his YouTube channel. But that's the kind of stuff that I look forward to is reaching out to those kinds of people, because there's a couple of people even from this neck of the woods too that I want to see if they would like to come in and do stuff like that, because
Yeah.
it's super fun. Like I was telling you
It really
before, it
is.
kind of blows your mind. Like I did not expect that from Dean Martin last time. He was like, "Yeah, just do this," and I was like,
I wish
"Okay."
I won.
put it
That
on the
kid is
track.
sick.
Yeah,
I
I
like
really,
that.
I told
He
him
was good.
he's and shout out to Dean Martin, by the way, and Delwyn Martin. His brother's also getting into the industry, the music industry as well, and he's making big moves. But I told him if he's still chopping down trees next year, I'm gonna be pissed because he doesn't have to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I feel like most people, you know what I mean, like yourself. It's just a matter of keep doing it. Like you're a great example of that because you've been doing this. How long have you been making music? I mean,
I was 16 when I, like, put my first song out, and it was right after I, like,
Wow.
stopped going to high school, honestly.
Wow.
So, like,
what was the
that was-
technology like back then? What did you guys use? Like an
I
iPhone
had
or
a desktop, and I remember having, like, the crappiest USB mic.
Yeah.
And just, like, I found a beat on YouTube and just, like, kind of
And
went
just-
off on
yeah.
it. And I was like, all right, maybe. And then, like, I think the only reason that I got the confidence to put it out was because I stopped going to high school.
Yeah.
And like I was like, all right, these kids are never gonna see me again in my life. Like
Yeah,
I can,
see ya.
whatever they think, they think.
Yeah, isn't that like such a threshold you have to break? Like not caring
I hated
anymore
high
what
school,
people
dude. I
think.
hated
Yeah,
that.
high school was tough for some people. It's such a mixed bag. Because for me, I had a good high school experience. I was not very good at academics. I was a solid C- student.
I hear
but my relations with people, like I always talk about, everybody hears me talk about all the time, is that networking was so important.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to meet a lot of good people in high school, but it's definitely not something I look back on. I know too many people are like, oh man, back in the day, like, dude, we have way more freedom now. I think this is way better than being in high school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine
100%.
not being able to drive. You know what I mean? Go places. You had no money. Like that sucked. It's way more fun now. You do shit like this. You could put some money into something and fly with it. But yeah, man, it's always, especially when it comes to that creative mindset, you're always, it's so good to always understand that you're one product away, one project away from really,
potential like life changing stuff.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I mean, that's the beauty of the internet. Something, say you put out a really great song, all of a sudden people are sharing it.
Yeah.
And that's just systemically just disperses potentially throughout the entire world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, one of your friends shares it. They have 1,000 friends. You shared it because it's yours, right? You have 1,000 friends.
Yep.
Now, out of your 1,000 friends, one of them shares it, and they have 2,000 friends. And all of a sudden, it's
crazy.
just
It just
bouncing.
spreads.
It's on Australia all of a sudden. You know? Who knows? But that's the cool part about it. And there's no feeling quite like it, like I've explained before. And that's probably what I would imagine for you, producing music on the caliber that you do, how good that feels. Like, oh man, I did that.
The analytics are always crazy to see.
Oh,
because like every once in a while I have like a Sweden pop up and I was like, what?
Yeah.
I
always
never
like to
left
check
like
the
the
stats.
U.S. I've never been anywhere other than like the U.S. So
Yeah,
like, it's
how-
crazy like how that gets to that.
Yeah.
But,
How long have you had YouTube? Did you ever end up making money off of YouTube? Because I know back
$40.
you've made $40.
$40.
That's like extremely impressive, actually.
I made $40. It was probably like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Since then, not really.
Yeah, because didn't the rules change?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you have to have 1,000 subscribers.
You have to have either, I think it's 10,000 altogether views, or you have to have
1,000 subscribers.
something like that.
Okay.
And I don't have 1,000 subscribers. I had the 10,000, like
Views.
over, because I had like
Yeah, you have
tons of
you have
videos out.
music,
So I was like, all right,
yeah.
it's gotta like reach to
some
that
of
point.
your, some of your videos have in thousands of views, right?
There's one that has like 7, and it was
Yeah.
the thing that I put out when I was like 18.
Was that the one from with the song intro by the X's?
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was,
like
really
the
good
first one that I really like made anything
Did
for.
you get in trouble for using that
No.
beat? That's awesome.
No, yeah.
That's so cool. They let you do that. I think that's actually that might be a stock
It
beat
could be.
because I've heard that beat.
A lot of people
somewhere
do
else.
it. Yeah, it's like I've heard it. The Biggie mashup. I've heard a Biggie mashup of it. And
Really?
Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, I was gonna say because like how do some of these actors, some of these artists get away with it? Like Chris Webby used a ton of different.
Millions of them. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
La La La. I was like, I had no idea how he used that song.
Yeah,
And,
or
like,
gosh, like ASAP Rock. I think he used a bunch of their songs, and it's funny because I got Spotify now, and so I'm listening to the I don't know, a Kanye West mix, and like some ASAP Rock songs will come on. I'm like, oh man, I wanna. Or ASAP Rocky? Is it ASAP Rocky?
There's
I'm
two
probably
of them.
saying
There's
that.
ASAP Rock, and it's spelled ASEOP.
Oh, no
Rock,
kidding.
and then there's ASAP Rocky. Yeah,
Keeping
so
it
there's,
simple
like-
there.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever done anything together, but it's like really, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So and
confuses
I'm like,
me.
man, I miss Chris Webby. I wonder what he's doing these days. It was like
I know a kid that actually shot a couple
Yeah.
photos for him. Yeah.
I know somebody who in Longmeadow who let him use their house for a music
shit.
video. Yeah. That must have been wild. I wonder what
That's
he's
gotta
up
be,
to
yeah.
these days. I mean, it sucks.
I haven't heard anything from him.
Back,
in a
yeah, I
while.
know he hasn't been doing anything. It was like him and Mac Miller were huge. Remember that?
Yeah.
There was a time when they were really blowing
Kids, yeah.
up. I can't believe Mac Miller, rest in peace.
I know.
That was so out of nowhere. It's crazy. It's really hard to understand that kind of lifestyle too.
Oh yeah.
Because like we were
That's
just
gotta
talking
hit.
about.
It's gotta just like immediately like something had
Right.
to go.
Well,
where it's
imagine you
like-
put out, a piece of content, and all of a sudden it goes huge, and you're super popular. Now you're making way more money than you've ever even known what to do with it.
Yeah.
It can get, you can certainly get to your head, and your level of pleasure tolerance probably goes way.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
He
off
was like 18 when he got like.
That's what I'm
famous like
saying. He
that.
was so young. They both were.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what messed them
That's
both
gotta
up,
mess you up.
because they were doing, they start doing drugs and all
Yeah.
that, and that kind of then takes a toll.
Oh yeah.
So
Then you got Keith Richards, who's just like
yeah,
90
he's
and
still
doing it,
rocking,
and you're
just
like,
still
all right.
rocking. He doesn't. No, there's no killing that guy. It's so funny how some artists have made it as far as they did. I
Oh,
mean,
God, yeah.
Paul McCartney's still alive. and
Yeah.
he's like old too. I almost feel bad because you hear him singing and you're like, ugh.
It's not what it used to be, but
Nah,
like,
man, it's
it's weird. It's also weird how like people's voice changes like as they get older.
Yeah.
I've never like thought about that, but like I forget what movie I was watching. It was Jersey Boys with like about the Four Seasons,
yeah.
and like from like obviously that was like a fake, like that was the Broadway one, but like the actor is like different than the real guy.
The Four Seasons, like
Yeah, dude.
Like-
Clint Eastwood directed it, so I was like, I gotta watch it, man. Clint Eastwood directed it.
Oh man,
So like,
I love that he's still kicking. Right, the Four Seasons. When you say the Four Seasons, are you talking about the guys who's like Frankie Valli?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
dude. But
no
like,
kidding.
I heard like a song when he was like young and
Big
sang.
girls.
Yeah. And then like I heard him sing when he was old, and I was like, oh my god, dude. He still sounds good, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, like it's just crazy that like vocal. I don't know how it happens, but like it just your voice changes so differently.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those things. I mean, age takes a toll, and I can't even imagine singing your whole life. So I had my headphones on backwards this whole time, but I feel like they feel better backwards right now because of that. God, I'm just out of sorts. Happy 4th, by the way, guys. Yesterday was the 4th. This comes out not next week, but the week after will be, on the 16th. This comes out. But yeah, happy 4th. Hopefully everybody had a good time. We got shot with a firework.
What? You can't just drop that.
Yeah, just drop that. So here's the thing, man. This is something that was bugging me. So they canceled all the fireworks shows, right? And naturally, no one's going to not shoot fireworks off in the United States on the 4th of July. That's just not something that ever happens, especially anywhere. I don't care, even if they're illegal. So we had a friend who brings fireworks from New Hampshire, and it's like the brick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put it on the ground, you light the wick, but nobody knows. We come back, and John's like, oh, you should have buried it in the ground a little bit and dug a hole for it, because this thing popped, landed on its side, and then its last shot just went flying at us both times. And we were like two groups of people, one side of this road and the other side of the road, and the thing just blows up and you're in a cloud of fire. And one of our friends ends up getting all scuffed.
Oh, he got hit?
I don't know if he got hit or he just jumped and sent it and
What?
like
Oh my
landed
God,
in
dude.
some rocks. Huh?
He definitely dove into a ditch.
Yeah, he's saying he dove into a ditch. He probably did dive into a ditch. That was too
Dude,
fun.
fireworks are one of those things that like you hear everybody getting hurt from it at
Yeah.
one point or another. Like the NFL player that like blew his fingers off.
Oh,
You know what I mean? And then
no.
like you're just like, wow, what an idiot. And
Yeah.
then like it happens to you and you're just like,
Yeah,
All right, I
it's not that
understand.
hard. Yeah, for those of you who have professional sized fireworks, like I'm talking the bricks that shoot the big ones, dig like a 5-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch hole at least to rest it in there or something, because you can't just throw that out dry and let them fly like that, man. But that was a good time. I haven't been out with a crowd like that in a while, but
Yeah.
fun stuff, and it's it's good to get out. Hopefully all this comes to an end. How's this affect? How's the state of the world affected your life? What a freaking run
Dude, yeah.
2020's been.
yeah.
It's like
And honestly, like I understand when people are being like, "Oh yeah, it's a simulation." Like now, I'm starting to see it. It's like, all right, yeah, dude,
Now you're
someone's up there
talking.
just throwing stuff
at this
people.
point, honestly,
Like the murder hornets.
yeah. And
That
the
scared
UFOs,
the hell out of me.
they just
Yeah.
go, oh, and it's like gone. No more UFOs.
Or like the you ever see like what was it? They found like a whale that was bitten in half.
Oh my god.
But it was like we thought. Like I saw something and
It's a
I like,
megalodon.
yeah, it scared the hell out of me. Like I love the ocean.
Yeah.
I'll swim in the ocean all day. I won't swim in a lake
Yeah.
because I watch river monsters.
Yeah.
I know what goes on in rivers and lakes. But like this thing was just like bit in half, like clean, and I was like, all right.
Dude, the mysteries of the ocean are infinite. I always wonder myself, like, how much do we know and aren't disclosing, or how much do we not know that we still have
yeah.
yet to discover? Because
There's got to be some weird, gnarly stuff down there, dude.
here's something. Here's a good hits blunt moment. You would think that in the entirety of the time that Earth's been around, that the advanced species like humans, or at least from a conscious standpoint, would have developed in the water because of there being more
Yeah.
ocean than land. It's kind of
That
weird
is,
that
yeah.
you know what I mean. It's kind of weird that
Just some aquatic people down there somewhere.
yeah, like mermaids or something. You would think like there's like some type of I don't know.
I hope to God mermaids are real.
That would be cool.
If there was mermaids, I would watch Pirates of the Caribbean the other day, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right, dude, mermaids gotta exist somewhere.
Davy Jones, he's out there.
Yeah.
Dude, no, but seriously, I mean, imagine that. That was actually a conspiracy for a while. Do you ever
What?
did mermaids?
Really?
Like there's footage. I think most of it's fake, but it's worth going down the rabbit hole just for fun, just for kicks. That mermaids are real. You know what I mean? There's all this like deep sea exploration videos
Yeah.
where like something unexplained kind of happens, and
I
you see
actually-
somebody kind of like
There was I was watching, I think it was like Animal Planet or something, and it was like years ago. I like just ended up like I was probably like 19, and I was watching this thing, and it was like, oh yeah, proof that mermaids exist. And the girl that I was watching it with goes, oh my God, I can't believe they finally got it. And I just like looked at her. I was like, this thing is computerized. What are you talking about?
I know. Well, that was the funny thing. So you go down the rabbit hole, and then you end up finding, like that the videos that might be most compelling are obviously CGI. Like you'll
Yeah.
see them looking at a fish, and then a CGI trident snags the fish. I'm like, yeah. Now you
that's-
lost
that's
me.
real. That's
yeah. Well, that's the thing about UFOs.
Bigfoot too,
Like,
dude. Bigfoot.
when Bigfoot's another one. When you see all these videos, it's either something CGI or the worst video quality you've ever
Yeah.
seen in your life. Like, what kind of phone you using? A flip phone? Because it's 2020. Why are you using like? Who's filming Bigfoot or a UFO at this point with that granulated footage?
Yeah,
Like,
it's an Android. That's what it was. That's what people give Android users crap. But
yeah,
man,
it's pretty much what it. Yeah, at this point, Snapchat. It's a Snapchat story. I really do hope aliens come down at some
Same,
point.
dude.
You
At
know
this
what?
point-
They're a little late because this is July
we could use
5th
some
right
help,
now.
Man.
You
If
would
you're
think,
out there, just help us.
yeah, come on, just come on down and just shake things up a little bit. I mean, honestly, get it over with in 2020 because we're on a damn good roll. Every single
Yeah.
month has just been something
I know,
shitty.
dude. I really hope July is just like
Smooth sailing.
we just need a break.
Yeah.
And
then
there's
and
other
then
stuff after, like we just need a break
just,
from like
just
all the
leave
stuff
it
that's going
whatever's
on.
going on to the simulator creators. Just leave July out of it and come back to us in August
Yeah.
with a hurricane or some shit. What was it?
Dude, have you been on TikTok?
Yeah.
Where- there's like a couple accounts that's like Future Man,
Dude, yes,
and they're
that's
naming
so
dates,
freaking
and there's
awesome.
like there's Hurricane Kyle coming, and I
Dude.
was like, all right,
Dude, I literally have that exact
I'm
one
waiting for it.
saved. I'm like,
I'm waiting for it.
let me show you right here, dude.
Hurricane Kyle, August 10th, 2020.
Dude, that is
That's what's
so
gonna
cool.
happen.
I'm like saving it because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep tabs on it. So there's these guys. So for those of you who are listening and don't know, and if you don't have TikTok, just get with the times. It's
Dude,
fun.
just
It's
get
fun.
with it.
There's some hilarious
there's a
shit.
lot of
if you're
stuff,
ever
man.
down on your luck and you want a good laugh, TikTok is the way to go. But I will say that okay, so yeah, back to the time travelers. There's these dudes claiming that they're time travelers and just essentially making claims of shit that's gonna happen. And it's and so right now we're probably just kind of both wondering if that's actually going to come about. I mean, did you hear about those sandstorms that are coming from Africa that
actually.
are traversing the Atlantic?
That's like
I mean, that's where the trade winds come from. It's legit. I mean, as far as jet
there's
streams
a
go.
lot of shit going on.
But man, imagine if there is a dust storm like that, the size of that, you won't be able to see.
I'm waiting for 2028, man.
We're gonna
He's predicting stuff.
we're gonna be all moving to Mars, just
I'd
for
be all right
just
with
for a
it.
little bit. Yeah.
I'd be okay with it.
You know, it's so weird because you think about it. It's like, what's the point of going to Mars? If like, okay, so there's the theory. Well, you go to Mars, and if you can't even take care of your own planet, what's the point of going to Mars and doing all this work? But there's a scientist, Michio Kaku. Have you ever heard of that guy?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't like.
He's
I'm
a
not
he's a pretty
familiar.
renowned scientist. I think he's Hey, Jameson, could you look up what Michio Kaku does? He's an engineer or something, like a quantum scientist. Just put Michio Kaku. I have no idea.
How do you spell his name?
Isn't
Just
it-
put Michio.
He's Chinese. I want to know. He's wrote a book because he's actually a really great, or not really. Well, I like him. He's a really great scientist that talks about like ages and phases.
Recent book?
Yeah,
The Future of Humanity.
yeah, it's like something like that.
Mars,
What was that?
Terraforming Mars.
Terraforming Mars. In other words, he has like this theory where like humanity has like stages of growth. Like right now we're still on a global scale, then soon enough we'll be able so there's like phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. Phase 1 is we'll have a civilization. It's phases of civilization. Like so we'll be at a point where we can control our planet, then we'll be able to control our solar system, and then one day we might be able to control the galaxy. So just cool science stuff like that. And he was presenting the importance of traveling from planet to planet and colonizing it so that it's enough to live, because it comes down to a matter of our species existing, which is kind of interesting because you never know what might happen on this planet. Yeah. So to keep the species alive, it might be advantageous to be on a different planet. Like if
at
something
this rate,
hits the planet like an asteroid. What do you got there?
Oh no, I disagree.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? Like it could be extremely advantageous because like a solar flare, I mean there's a lot of things,
there's so much stuff that can go wrong.
And I was thinking about this the other day and really just feeling a lot of gratitude for how lucky we are. If you take a moment to even think about all the things that are afforded to you in this life, living in this country at least, and I mean you know, you don't realize it, but like things as like clean water is a luxury.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know that everyone takes for granted.
Yeah, but beyond that, just being no, it's a very profound level of gratitude, but just to be able to live throughout a day, because I mean there's 1,000 different things that we forget we're in space. That's really what it is, and there's no controlling what's coming at us.
Yeah, that literally,
you know
that
I mean?
just hit me right now. Like you said that, I was like, oh my god, we are.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think anybody would even tell you. You know, why would the government put a halt to society for something like that? Because it wouldn't even matter. Be like, okay, well, there's an asteroid twice the size of the moon coming.
With like everything that's going on, I wouldn't put it past it.
I always
but, like,
wonder,
like,
would they tell us?
No.
They would just keep going.
It would just happen.
Yeah,
like
it would just
8 minutes
happen.
later, you'd hear like. Oh.
You'd see like a white light, and then just.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes quick too. So that's essentially what Michio Kaku was saying. Something like as simple as an asteroid impact could just wipe all life out for a certain period of time on this planet, because it's in that Goldilocks zone where the life can keep coming back, but it'd be completely different. I mean, look at the dinosaurs.
It's so weird.
Things are so different. I mean, think
if
about
we do come back, I hope we breathe underwater.
Like, yeah,
that's
seriously.
all I want. Just mermaids, full circle.
That would probably be better, because I mean, I feel like the world is so much bigger. Plus, in the water, you can fly. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. Like you can't fly up here, but in the water you can, which is, you know, you wouldn't call it flying. It's swimming at that point, but
no, dude, that's aquatic.
It's still like an atmosphere of itself. You know what I mean?
The floating feeling. Is
Yeah, dude, that would be crazy. I forget who I was talking to about this, but I would love to go to space. If I ever am in the financial position to be able to be somebody who does like the commercial,
Elon, dude.
That's what I'm saying, because he's trying to make that commercial. Would you go to space if you could?
I would wait a lot of trials out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then, like, I would
say if it was
send Matt Damon up there.
First.
He's been to Mars already.
Yeah,
so
he's been to Mars. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's got a grasp.
Send him up there. Send like Bruce Willis up there. I feel like Bruce Willis could conquer the world, dude. Bruce Willis is one of those guys where you're just like, all right.
Send him up there.
He'll mess a Martian up.
Kill all the aliens on the moon. Make it safe.
But yeah, dude. I feel like I would definitely do it.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Over what period of time and how broke do I want to go for one ticket? You know what I mean?
I know.
If it's like $400, yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I'll go to space.
Yeah, I know.
And at this rate, dude, like, send me up there tomorrow.
Yeah, dude. I know. What was they saying? So those astronauts who are going to, congratulations to SpaceX too, recently getting that space shuttle to the International Space Station. But that was so funny because as they were leaving, that's when all the riots and stuff happened. It's like somebody said. Kudos to the astronaut. That was a good move.
Oh, yeah.
The astronauts for leaving the planet. That was a good move because it was like right before everything got really heated, and I can't even imagine what it's like up there.
It's got to just be weird,
dude. So weird. So
weird.
weird.
Do you think they know like what's going on down here too, or are they just like completely out of the loop at this point? And like,
I'm sure because internet probably comes from satellites, so they could probably like.
I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So
isn't it?
I feel like
definitely they have internet.
they do. Yeah.
They gotta.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
I wonder how much of the internet comes from satellites? Can you look that up? That's actually interesting because is it like all on the ground or does it come from
I don't know, dude.
space?
I feel like there's so many conspiracy theories too that it's like,
Yeah.
like that whole like thing. Did you see where it's like, oh yeah, 5G caused coronavirus?
Yeah, that's
It's
rough.
like, dude,
I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
I'm not a big. I'm not a like
I
when you
try not
really
to be
look into it.
conspiracy theory,
Yeah, it's
but-
good to look into.
Yeah.
Like I entertain myself like with the flat Earth thing, and they ask good questions. But if
I
you
love it.
all the videos are the same, all their arguments are the same, and then
Yeah.
they made a video on Netflix which is hilarious, and they
About the flat Earth?
yeah
Yeah.
and they disproves themselves.
One of those guys died too.
Really?
Yeah.
From what?
He was like going to prove, like he built his own rocket ship,
Yeah.
and he did it too. What like happened? He had 3 parachutes on board,
Yeah.
and none of them opened.
Holy
It was like
shit.
he like got to the point where like he could see the atmosphere though.
Yeah.
And then just like that in
Wow.
itself is impressive, but like, dude, how you? That was just not meant to work out. Like 3
Crazy.
parachutes, but like
Dude, it's
you could
so
also just go to the top of something.
It's
and, like,
so
look.
ironic. I remember seeing this video that you know there's a flat Earth society now,
Yeah.
and they're like gathered in the masses all at the same time. We're not dumb or something. I'm like, dude,
All right.
like I hate to
You
be
ever
a
go to a plane?
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you just I don't know. It really takes a leap of faith to be into that. What do you
Yeah.
got there, Jameson?
So basically it's just uses the telephone network, radio connections, and satellite.
So it's mostly on the ground, or it's like a trifecta?
Well, it definitely, like, most of it started with physical connections, but, I mean, it's like a mixture of physical connections, radio,
Yeah.
satellite signals, but they all go to, like, computers that are somewhere.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah, if you ever want to blow your mind, look up how many satellites are in orbit. They have these dots
That's gotta
that
be
represent. There's like how many satellites are in orbit? Let me try to guess. Over 3,000.
2,666.
You're pretty close, dude. Yeah.
Dude, because I looked it up before, and the pictures are insane. They have I don't know if they're real pictures because you'd have to get really far away from the Earth to see them, but they have a demonstrative picture showing how many satellites are orbiting the Earth, and it is way more than you would think.
That's
Like
yeah.
you can't even see. There's space debris. There's shit falling out of the sky. I mean,
I
you know,
understand why we got to go to other planets.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, it's just I don't know.
The United States has 1,327.
yeah, that seems
Damn.
about right.
U.S.
That
has
seems about right.
1,327
Almost
total.
half of them.
Wow. Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? I guess that's how you get the internet. That's what it takes. It's better than like what was the point of satellites in the first place? Were we using them for telephone at all? Or just landlines for telephone?
I feel like I'm learning here more
Dude,
than like college.
We're figuring it out,
That's-
guys.
yeah.
We're figuring it out because we're scientists. Don't
I'm a
forget
chemist,
that.
Mom. Make stuff.
Yeah, man, it's actually super interesting because if you think about it, back to taking things for granted. We have no idea how much science, how much technology,
Oh, yeah.
how much precision it takes to have a phone that you can just comes from the earth, and everything that you've had in your hands or driven as a car or lived inside, it's come from the planet in some way. It doesn't look like it because a laptop doesn't
yeah.
look like it came out of the ground.
But like it did.
It did. You know what I mean? I mean, essentially. So the batteries and all that, and then now it's running off of all these invisible vibrations. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
freaking nuts, man. Technology just blows your mind for days.
I know. I'm waiting for smell-o-vision though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm waiting for. I want that. I want smell-o-vision.
I've always thought about that. Like, how good would that be? Do you want to smell? Like, what if you're like, what?
The answer's already no.
I was gonna say, dude, if you're watching like I don't know, Shawshank Redemption, and the guy's crawling through a tube of shit, you're like, dude, this sucks.
It's like I'm really here.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's
Put you in like
I
some
feel like
simulator.
something's like Cooking Channel.
Yeah,
Hell
that
yeah,
might be
I'd
cool.
like to Cooking Channel smell-o-vision.
I'm interested.
Dirty Jobs, probably not.
No. I am interested to see where virtual reality goes. Scary, but it's gonna be.
You ever
huge.
see the video of the guy playing like Grand Theft Auto with the Oculus,
Oh, I think so.
and he just like turns around and just throws up because he was like, it's making me nauseous
Yeah.
flying a plane in this, and like I was
Dude,
like, all right,
yeah, some
okay.
some of those videos are so funny.
Oh yeah.
What do you got there, Jameson?
Oh, Just thinking about satellites, like they're literally just perpetually falling to the ground.
Yeah, they're going so fast.
what?
So that's what's making them go as fast as they do. Is because they're always falling, right?
They literally just perpetually fall, but because they're at a high enough orbit, gravity doesn't affect them enough to make them actually hit the Earth.
Yeah. So in other words, they're falling, but that I mean they are.
They're falling around.
They're slowly coming closer to the Earth, but they're falling so fast that they keep themselves in orbit. You know what I mean?
And they're basically just like big computers.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now I know something else that I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Hopefully none of them fall out of the
That's
sky.
terrifying.
I wonder how like I mean, I'm sure debris
gotta be,
fall
yeah.
into orbit all the time. I mean, that's probably what like caused. I mean, I wonder like how much do you think Roswell was real? Do you think maybe just a satellite fell out of the sky? I wonder what that kind of stuff. Did you ever watch Joe Rogan's podcast?
Oh yeah.
With like Bob Lazar, that was a really good one. That one makes me think. That guy makes me.
Roswell? There's definitely some stuff out there.
I think so. I mean, if you watch, so for those of you who haven't watched Bob Lazar's episode with Joe Rogan, it makes you think.
Yeah.
The level of detail that guy uses to talk about his experience working at, what the hell was that place called? 12? Because he didn't work at Area 51. It was Sector.
It was the other one.
Yeah, it was the other one. It was like Area 51 is sort of like a more of a advertised area for
I feel
this
like, yeah, that's,
testing, but
that's probably not even like the most like
no popular.
badass one. Yeah, no, there's got to be like ones
Yeah,
that are
that's
just,
definitely like the
crazy.
cover up. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what they use. But then there's like these bases that they have in the mountains, and that's where they keep like all the cooler stuff. And I can't tell personally. What's that?
That's where they keep the aliens.
That's where they keep
That's
the
gotta be,
aliens,
dude.
man. That's where they keep the aliens.
I just actually I watched I forget what it was called, but it was like about a guy that worked at like a military base in
Yeah.
Vegas, and like it was talking about like how he's like had encounters with like aliens and like
Dude.
they're just blue people, and I was like,
They got
Sorry?
stories out west.
Oh,
They
yeah.
definitely have stories out west.
it's just like nothingness.
Yeah.
Like deserts, dude. There's got to be some weird stuff going on in deserts.
Well, there's a combination of the military testing out aircraft,
Mm-hmm.
which can look like anything because they don't care. There's very low population
Oh,
in
yeah.
many areas out west because it's just so big and it's all desert. And then there's that clarity in the night sky that, you know, I mean, I would never doubt in my entire life, never really have as soon as I learned about aliens, that there's something else out there. Because obviously we're proof that life can exist in the
Yeah.
universe. So
There's no way
you
we're
could,
the sole like
exactly. So
things.
ourselves, we're an example of a statistic. You know what I mean? Like you could think, well, how many? This is weird, but like how many bugs live on a tree? You know what I mean? And so then
Yeah.
you have that statistic. Well, then that's how many live on all these other trees too. So in the same way, that how many planets in a not a solar system, a galaxy
Yeah.
would have life? You know what I mean? Because we could
'Cause
be.
how many galaxies are in, or how many solar systems are in a galaxy? Is there like a
Yeah,
set
so no,
number,
it's like
or is it
100
like-
million billion.
Seriously?
What is it? It's a lot. How many suns are in a galaxy? It's like I think they use the word 100 million
Where's
billion. Last time I saw a space documentary. That's
Wait,
kind
so the
of
Milky Way is the galaxy that we're in,
that's
right?
our galaxy, and the
Okay.
closest one to us is the Andromeda galaxy.
Okay,
And fun fact, that galaxy is coming directly at ours.
sweet.
Yeah. And so if we live for another billion years, it will. So this is one of the coolest things that blew my mind the most about space ever. And this is provable. We already understand this to be true. You can even see the Andromeda galaxy from the night sky. It looks like a star.
Oh, really?
But in a couple million years, it'll be as big as the moon in the sky because it's coming at us, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of miles per hour. But one day, the two will end up colliding, and since at the center, supposedly, of a galaxy, there's a black hole, they do what as astronomers call a dance.
Okay.
And before they become one, they will have this dance on impact that will last another billion years or something like that before the two galaxies become one. And that dance, if you're alive on this planet in a billion years, the night sky will be filled with so much cosmic nebula that it could be brighter at night from all the neon colors
That-
from the night sky, and there will be probably zero to none impacts. It's like solar impacts
Yeah.
because of the space between each sun is so great
That's so weird.
that those galaxies with all those suns How many did you find there?
100 billion.
100 billion. I had said 100 million billion. So 100 billion. And that's a big ass number.
Yeah.
Of stars. Each star has a series of planets or none. You know what I mean? So they're
That's
all
crazy.
so spread out. They don't make any impact. Imagine seeing that. I mean, there's
That's
even
just
solar
like,
systems
oh,
with 2
God.
suns, isn't there?
Probably. I know, like,
Nothing?
yeah, because Neptune has like 3 moons.
I wish I
doesn't
was smarter.
it? Same. It's ironic because I'm wearing a Harvard University hat.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not-
You gotta just rep it. You just pull it off, man. Like, yeah, man, I studied astronomy in Harvard.
No big deal.
No big deal, that's all. Going to space next week. That would be so cool, though. Interstellar, great movie.
Mhm.
That's kind of where all my thoughts and stuff go when it comes to space travel. I don't know how accurate that movie is, but Neil deGrasse Tyson had some good things to say about it.
Yeah.
But let's see what we got here, because we're a little above an hour here. Hour 5. So just to wrap this up, I just want to first off thank you, man. I'm so happy
Yeah,
you
no,
came
thanks
in.
for
This was
having
so
me.
cool. I always love touching base with people. I can't say enough about how great it is to touch base with people I haven't seen in a long time. As those of you who have been on, I thank them as well. And for those of you who are listening, please, if you guys got a second, check out Elijah's Instagram and YouTube, and I'll link those in the comments below, or rather in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more, guys. I mean, we're keeping the ball rolling, the dream train rolling on throat. All right, guys, take care. See ya.
Tongues, but I got way too much to say, so now I feel like I got that shit up in my rhymes to ease your mind. Laid at home, pulling on the twine. Thought our souls would get attached, thought our paths were in a line. I wish I could forget you, but my God, you were a dime, so now I'm just trying to feel you. Like, baby, what's the deal, too? You tell me come through, then you kick me to the curb. I don't know which is the real. They call me